Thanks for tuning in to this episode of I Have Something to Say, where subject matter experts are unafraid and unapologetic about sharing their perspectives regarding issues that impact our lives. They speak up because basically they give a shit. So if you're tired of canned answers and want to finally hear real people cut through the BS and talk about real issues, this is the podcast for you. I'm your host, Sami Heyman Marrero from Urbender, and behind our mixer is our producer, Chris Majoka from UdoU. Hi, everyone. I'm excited to see you again. And today we have as our guest, Landen Conner, and he is a commercial portrait photographer, right? Did I say that right, Landen?
It could be classified in that I'm a branding, marketing, commercial photographer. All of it's
Yes.
classified in the same thing.
Yes, awesome and fantastic. I have to tell you, we met through Shalonda, who works with us here at Urbender and has been, part of the I have something to say family too. And I'm just so impressed by your work and also by your generosity. I think it was really what really struck me was how during this past year you've been part of like this. Was it a nationwide initiative to contribute your talent and your expertise in professional photography, like for headshots, to help people who had lost their job due to COVID and the economic downturn experienced because of the pandemic, so they can have a refreshed new right headshot to be able to put on LinkedIn and to attract potential new employers, right? And so how how did this come about? What an extraordinary idea. And for all of these cities to participate, like tell me how many cities were they? And I know it was in the thousands, the amount of people that you helped, among them some good friends of mine who were looking for work and they've landed, very good opportunities. So tell me, how did that come about?
About a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, I joined a group called the Headshot Crew,
Mhm.
started by Peter Hurley. He's based out of New York and took his course, learned how to do headshots one of the right way. And they put out this nationwide thing to ask if ask people worldwide, did they want to participate in the headshot campaign? I'm like, no brainer, because helping people was the basis behind everything. And once that got going, we put out the nationwide blast and see how many people were interested. Into some places got as many as 50 people per photographer. So if they hosted
Mm,
three different photographers, that's 150 people.
right.
Um, why the basis behind photography with the headshot is a little different how I view it. We a lot of times when you say headshot photo, we always look at it as just a photo. But that person is artistic. They're always marketing and branding. So trying to get people to realize that they're always marketing and branding to someone. So when you put
Mhm.
that picture up on LinkedIn and it's a really, really nice picture, you're 21 times more likely to get connection requests, views, and opportunities.
Yes, absolutely. But then on top of that, because you're not just a fantastic photographer, you're also a storyteller. And I love the way you write. So every time, because I follow you, I'm stalking you on LinkedIn. I'm like, oh, what is Landon posting? What is he posting right now? And
Yeah.
because you always have like a hook that I'm like, no, he did not just say that. So, like, for example, one of the most recent, I'm reading it right now because it was epic. It says her big problem, dot, dot, dot. And it's like this gorgeous woman, right? And then it's
Hmm.
so funny because then you have like these provocative leading sentences or phrases to really kind of grab people's attention, because you're like, what are you talking about? Her big problem, when you see a picture of like this gorgeous woman, and not because she's model type or anything. It's just like she exudes, right? This like
Yeah.
amazing spirit. And so, and it's because you coach them, you coach your subjects in that experience, because a lot of people, from what I've read, either come with lack of confidence or think that they don't look okay because maybe they're a little heavy or older or whatever. It's like, people are never pleased, like, with how they look, right? And so,
Right.
how did you get into this groove of combining, the visual with the storytelling to write your posts?
I struggled with that for the longest. I
Okay.
promise you I did. When I first started, it would be, oh, I just took a great picture of such and such, and they had a great time, but it didn't resonate with anybody. It didn't make
Mhm,
any sense. So I took a course called Storycake, and then and it kind of unlocked a lot of things for me. One of a
mhm,
good friend of mine, Stan Miller, and
mhm.
what started happening to me actually during those sessions is that people would tell me so many different things, and then it clicked. We've been taking back pictures since kindergarten. Think about it. Like you're laughing because that's relational.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Yeah.
super relational, right? So you've been taking those pictures since kindergarten, and mom's like, "Oh, smile, say cheese," and you give this thing. So I just want a toy, and I want you to leave me alone. But it
Mhm,
continuously carries as we get older.
mhm.
You worked in corporate America, right?
Yeah.
At one
Mhm,
point, have they ever taken you? They took the security guard officer that's watching the building. They take you in the hallway. They tell you to smile. Give me the iPhone. Click. Okay, look good. Keep going. Same thing with, unfortunately, I apologize, a lot of photographers.
yeah.
They say chin down, shoulders back, 1, 2, 3, smile.
Right.
I don't have a clue who Semi is. I don't have a clue what she's going through. I don't even know this person, and I've been on
Right.
the other end of that as well. So once I learned how to connect with people and have empathy and walk with them, it
Mm,
was something that just opened doors. And then I struggled and I
mhm.
prayed about it. I'm like, a couple of clients say, share the story. I'm like, that's personable.
Yeah.
But what it was, I was thinking more about just the photo shoot, and I wasn't thinking about all the people that are going through similar things. So
Right.
once the bell started going off in my mind, it's like, hey, somebody else is struggling with this too. How many women have been pregnant and think they don't look beautiful?
Yeah.
So going through that, and matter of fact, the story behind that recent post, I walked in. Her boss hired me for photos. It's like we need 4 people to take headshots, and I saw her sitting at her desk, and she was eating and dolled up, and I'm like, she said, I am not taking a picture today. I just want to sit here and eat my chicken. I said, I'm like, wow, okay. Okay. Like, and I just kept playing and talking, being my normal self. I'm like, why? She's like, I'm pregnant. I don't look good. I said, so if you weren't pregnant, will you take a photo? No, because I didn't like the photo last time. I said, what if I can
Mm,
promise you a photo in 5 minutes? Give me 5 minutes. And if you don't like it, I'll never see the light of day. All you gotta do is
mm,
be my test subject for right now. She
mhm.
said, okay, no problem. So set up the lights, got everything together. Within 5 minutes, she had that photo. And she was like, I
Wow.
can't believe it. She let out this scream. I'm like, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
So it's those type of stories that resonate. And it's not just on the
Yeah.
female side, it's on the male side too. And they've been beat up. Um, Nobody ever took the time to actually invest in them to look their best. So this
Yeah.
person wants to look like they're on GQ, suave debonair. And guys just say, hey, Landa, take a photo. And we always do
Mhm.
this. That's not
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah. Like deer in headlights. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
So,
Yeah.
and when you look at a photo online, I don't care if it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you see people that have put up just anything, like they just fresh out of the bathroom or came out of the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, hire
Mhm.
me. Why would I want to work with you if you don't believe in yourself? Because that's the first thing
Yeah.
I need. Not your
Mm.
website, not your business card. Who are you?
Right. Wow. So you get very I mean, it's the right word because it's not romantic in any way. It's you get very intimate. Like you really try to create an energy that is special when you are taking these photographs. I know Shalanda and her daughter, like I saw their pictures and I'm like, oh my God, these are amazing. And so then
Hmm.
I know what you're going to say. I'm like, oh my God, I got to lose 30 pounds because the 30 I put on through COVID, I got to lose them. But you're going to tell me that's your big problem, or you'll probably come up with some line like La Loca, whatever, but because you become very self-conscious, right? And so
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to, yeah, I'm gonna call you because I need a new headshot, but also because I see the outcome. It really is remarkable. And so what did you don't have to tell me all your secrets, right? On how you set up and everything, because I know it's more of like a vibe thing. I could tell from how you tell these stories and you post. Um, but is it lighting? Is it like what is like the right or is it the setting, or is it like one on one? Do you take one person at a time? So what is like your typical, or is it all different? Is every scenario different?
Um, my thing is one on one.
Mm,
My thing is one on one is like yes, lighting matters. Yeah, I can give you a well lit shot. That still doesn't do anything.
mm,
Like when someone asks me, it's not about. I don't care if I'm charging $5,000 for a headshot, or if I'm charging $5 for a headshot. The issue is
mm-hmm,
still here internal. Um,
mm,
Once you realize that it's internal, it's not about a photo anymore because I can
mm,
light a photo perfectly, and I tell my clients that I can give you a well lit photo and let you be about your way. You're gonna say
mm.
it looks good. You're gonna lie to me. I'll tell them you're going to lie to me. That's my exact word. They're gonna lie to me and say it's okay. And they'll go and say, yeah, it looks good. My hair looks nice. It's lit really well. But that is, if you're listening and in tune with that person, yes, I look good in light, but I don't look good physically with my emotion. So I make sure
Mm,
that they don't leave the obsession unless they absolutely love themselves. They
mm.
have to love that photo. But there's another caveat. I shouldn't be giving you all these secrets because that's me. You're gonna cheat. But the
No.
biggest,
Oh, that
the
I'm gonna
big,
cheat when you take my picture.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't cheat though because I still got some
No, I
stuff I
won't.
got
I
to
won't.
keep.
I'll forget.
But the biggest thing is I have to shoot for that client's client. Even if they're not a business owner, I'm still shooting for their employer. I'm still shooting
Mm,
for that business, that job, something. Somebody's looking at that photo.
mhm,
Um, I'll give you another scenario. It took me this one client took almost a year to track down. Took the
mm,
courage, she took the
mhm,
courage, and I haven't posted this story yet because I really want to put this one. It took a year for me to get to her. She wouldn't return my phone call. She wouldn't return anything, but she reached out, which was crazy to me. And then she went zero dark 30. And lo and behold, she worked for one of my friends that is a real estate broker.
mhm,
And he put a deadline. He paid for headshots, gave him free headshots, and said, just go, do what he asked you to do, and go from there. I texted her and said, hey, I have these openings for this month. I'm busy the whole month. I was like, this might be the hardest person I ever tried. So she sent me just one word response, and I thought she was really trying to blow me off. And the night before, I kid you not, she's like, "Oh, I'm coming tomorrow." I'm like, "Wait, what? What do you mean you coming tomorrow?" So I was like, "I gotta make this happen. This, just come on for 12." She came in for 12. I kid you not, in 10 minutes, we shot a photo. I said, take a picture of this and show it to someone who and ask them to what do they think about it. She showed it
mhm,
to her husband. She said her husband response made the world of difference. And then she
mm.
went even deeper. She posted it on Facebook. That lady's response rate went over 250. And she saw me at church.
Wow.
She saw me at church and was like, You made me look stuff like, and I really never make people look beautiful. It's already there. They just need someone
Right.
to rediscover who they are.
Yeah. Wow, that's powerful. That's really powerful. And then the people that you've impacted with like this work, like this volunteer work that you did, that was back in August, was it? I think it was. I know, was it in August or over the summer? I can't remember. How many
It,
thousands of people did you guys collectively help? And
I,
how many people
I,
did you photograph?
I photographed. I think the max at that particular location in Orlando, it was five of us, 32, anywhere from 25 to 32 people per photographer. So at that
Mhm.
particular location, it was a little over 100.
Wow.
Nationwide, I think it went clean over 100,000. I forgot what
Wow.
the actual statistics were, but it was definitely beneficial and impactful.
Oh, yes, definitely. Well, we have a because of you knowing, the 6 degrees of separation, so Chalana, whatever, we found out about it. So we shared it amongst our,
Thank you.
networks. Yeah. And I gotta tell you, I have a friend in Texas that had
Hmm.
lost her job. She had lost her job. She'd been working at this company for about 12, 13 years. She actually lived in Orlando and they had promoted her and she had moved to Texas for this new position about 2 3 years ago.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, because of the pandemic, basically she lost her job because they were downsizing like millions of other Americans, right? So it's
Yeah.
not, she's just like a victim of the situation. And she went and took her headshot. She hadn't had a headshot done in all those years, right? She hadn't been
Yeah.
on an interview in like 13 years. She's like, where the hell do I even start? I mean,
Uh-huh.
LinkedIn now is a thing, right? So anyway, so because of the work that you did in combination with all of these other photographers in cities across the nation, she was one of the thousands, right, that participated in this initiative. And can I tell you, she landed a job like maybe 6 weeks later. It was amazing. She was able to revamp her LinkedIn page, put up the new picture. She was full of confidence, because of the new
Uh-huh.
headshot. And anyway, it was just great. And so, yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing that for people because you guys
You're
did it
welcome.
pro bono. You just wanted to, invest your talents in helping people,
Yes.
find their next gig, and not a lot of people will do that. So I think that's fantastic. And the impact that it has, right? Because then that impacts the family and the community and the elderly in
Hmm.
their lives and just the kids, just everybody, it helps. You would never think, right, that a photograph and people helping each other find a new job opportunity would impact so many
Think
people,
about
and
it.
it would be so dramatic, right?
Yeah, actually, I do. I believe that not just a headshot. I ask you something. If you had a photograph, you had to choose one photograph or one special moment in your life, what would it be?
Oh, me, right? i
Yeah.
i would pick of my kids being born or my wedding.
Okay. Let's go back to if you had we can take both of them because you took two.
Mm-hmm.
Not to knock video. Video is beautiful when it's done right. But as we have business, we have our everyday life gets in the way. We don't have time to watch a video all the time.
Yeah.
But when you're having a rough day, if you see that picture of your wedding, if you see the
Mm-hmm.
birth of your child, you're like,
Yeah.
I don't even remember why I was mad. I don't even
Yeah.
remember what was going on. It was all worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all worth it
Yeah.
when you go through it. So once you understand the power of a photo and what it does, just like with your friend, she's like, I never thought I could do this. She had a confidence builder. She
Yeah.
was marketed it better. She was branded better. 6 weeks
Yeah.
later, she got a better job. So you
Oh,
took the
yes.
time to invest in yourself.
She got better jobs. She got
Yeah.
a bigger title, bigger salary, and you know what the kicker is, Landon?
Hmm.
That her former employer called her like 2 months later to see if she'd come back. And she said, nope, sorry. Too little, too late. Good for her. Anyway, but yeah, it's yeah, it's powerful how it could boost your, you know,
Everything,
your sense of confidence and, your outlook on life too. When you see
everything. Let's
yourself and
talk
you're
about
like,
our friend.
yeah,
Let's talk about our friend Shalonda. Shalonda had a session. Shalonda's like, Landon, I hate photos, blah, blah,
I
blah,
know.
blah, blah. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Same thing with our daughter. She's like, her daughter said, I don't think I'm photogenic. I said, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
So a lot of people can just let you say, I'm not photogenic and let you base in those
Yeah.
comparison games, especially with like social media age, we compare a lot. But
Mhm.
everyone's beautiful and photogenic in their own way. It just you just need the right person to walk with you.
Yeah, totally. Now, in all of your, so how long have you been a photographer for? How did you
This,
land in this career path?
that I always attribute to one of my best friends back home in New Orleans, Calvin Gavion. He's also a
Mhm.
photographer, and I was sitting at my desk as a pharmacist, and I'm like, guys, you got to have better for me than this.
You were a
Yeah,
pharmacist?
yeah, I'm still a current. I'm a current pharmacist. I just do it on call whenever someone calls me up
Oh,
for.
look at you. Okay, I didn't realize. I mean, because it's like so creative and so like sciences are, right? But I guess there's art in science too, right?
Um, I mean, if you would have asked me this a year ago, I could not explain it to you.
Mhm.
Recently, I joined the Christian Chamber of Commerce, and the
Mhm.
leader of it, she was talking to me because she was enamored with the stories as well, and she couldn't believe
Mhm.
it's like pharmacy and photography. How you marry those two?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So those two things begin with a P, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
There's a third P. The third P was always a person, people in person.
Mm.
Um, and the thing that drew me into pharmacy was my relationships. When they came into the pharmacy, the thing that jumped out to me was not medication. It was not the science. It was I can sit up there and have a conversation with a person for 5 to 10 minutes, and they felt like family. To this
Mm.
day, I have a person I refer to as my grandmother because
Mhm.
we used to laugh and joke every time she came in the pharmacy. And to this day, she
Mm.
still calls me, and I don't even work in that pharmacy for like 12 years now.
Mhm.
So once you understand that people with the commonality, I want to see the best in people. And that's how I married pharmacy and photography together. But to answer your other question, my friend Calvin Gavion said, "Hey man, I'm making such and such amount of money doing weddings." I'm like, "You lying? You're not doing this." And lo and behold, I was like, "I'll pick up a camera and shoot somebody for that price." And once I got into learning it more, and I understood the marriage of how a photo can change someone's whole perception in a blink of a snap, that's when everything changed. Not that I didn't
Mm.
love weddings like him, but the one-on-one headshots and doing their marketing and branding material just exploded.
Yeah.
Uh, like, okay, I may be on to something. Maybe I
Yeah.
can help this person land a 30, 40, 50, $100,000 job. Uh,
Yeah.
maybe I can get them the $100,000 client. It's
Right.
just everybody wants to meet. Like if I was photographing you, I was like, tell
Mhm.
me, is that actually you? I'm gonna ask you this question when we do this. Is
Oh
this you
God.
or is it 1, 2, 3 smile? So I never want 1, 2, 3 smile. I want people to meet the actual person when they look at it.
Yeah. That when they see themselves, they can't even recognize themselves in a good way, but in a good way,
Yeah.
right? They're like, is that me? No. Right? Yeah, that's cool.
It's
So
ironic you should say that though.
what was that?
It, it's ironic you should say that because I shot another person and I got wind of this through my Christian Chambership leader. She said, the person you shot, her daughter said something that just touched her heart and really changed her outlook on life. Her young daughter said, "I never knew my mom looked this beautiful," and I was
Oh,
like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like,
yeah.
"That that's like a heartbreaker. I mean, a heart jerker right
Yeah.
there." I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
"Hold on,
know.
I'm not trying to cry right now, but
I know. That is so sweet. So, question to you. I mean, you've met tons of people. What session for you I'm sure you have many, but like one or two that are the most memorable that you like came out of there and you were like so moved or so like it changed you. They're like, oh my God, this is why I do this. So I mean, I know there are plenty of them, but like, you know what I'm talking about. There has to be like those one or two that you're like, wow, this was epic. Like
There's
nothing I've ever
two.
experienced before. Mm-hmm.
There's two. One, the two that come to mind, is really what set the path and rotation for all of this. A friend from my church called me and asked me to do behind the scenes photography for an interview he was doing. I was like, sure. If you don't mind, can I get some headshots? I'm trying to build my portfolio. And I walk
Mm,
in and I meet everyone, and he introduced me. He's like, yeah, he's gonna do headshots. And the main person he's talking to says, I do not like my picture taken, which is the fireworks in my mind to go off. So
yeah.
I love when people say that. Yeah, and I said, ma'am, can you give me 5 to 10 minutes? Just 5 to 10 minutes is all I need. I took the photo and she liked it. But the thing that happened like a week or so later, she called me. She said, Landon, and she came on the phone for like an hour or so. And she said, Landon, I took the chance and I put it on Facebook and I've gotten overwhelming responses. And she went in even deeper. She said, you don't have any idea how healing that is to have that validation from my friends and family, that's
Mm,
personal as well as social on social media. And I'm like, why? Because at that point, my mindset was, it's just a photo. She
yeah.
said, the photo changed everything because I lost who I was because I was in an abusive relationship physically and mentally.
Mm,
I was always told I was the ugly duckling.
mm, mm,
And that photo reawakened something in me that I'm none of those things.
um,
Then the second one that really resonated with me is just as much. And I was photographing this lady who was a recruiter.
mhm,
Showed up early, showed up on time. We got in, took a couple of shots. This was our first time doing a professional headshot session. And when I shoot so the picture displays on a computer. It pops up,
mhm,
and she was like, oh. I'm like,
mm,
she said, I can't believe that's what just happened. And we did a couple of more shots, and she went to change in the restroom, and she stopped midstream, and she's like, Landon, I can't believe I look like this. I'm like,
mm,
why you say that? You're beautiful. And she said, I just had a child 2 weeks ago.
mm.
I've been ripping and running. I don't feel like this body is mine. I've gained all this weight. And I'm like, okay, you got to stop it. You might make me cry. But it told me that really those people really just inspire me a lot.
Mhm,
It lets you know to keep going and keep trying no matter what. That someone needs this one on
mhm,
one. And she called me back and said, hey, that got over 400 hits on Facebook,
mm,
and that it turned into clients. And she was like, the one thing I loved about it, that it was so one on one and so personable that she walked me
mm,
through discovering how beautiful I was.
mm.
So
Yeah.
those are two things
That
that really,
Yeah, I could see that you said the word healing and
yeah.
you would never think that it could have that effect, right? That could people feel because and that's the thing because I mean, people shy away from being vulnerable and just speaking their truth and just
Hmm.
being raw and letting their emotions show. And so I think that that's the gift that you have that you're able to connect at that deeper level, and it shows. It shows in your work. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I love I every time I see a new one. There was one recently too. Let me look them up. I love it. Everybody, you could go on LinkedIn and find Landen Conner. He's like freaking amazing. Um, Unexpected Blessing, and it's the guy that was in like a suit.
Hmm.
I love that he updated his headshot, that he was looking for work. He actually asked you, this young man, hey, are you guys still doing the free, right, the free sessions for people that are looking for work? And so
Yeah.
I know that it passed, but you're like, come on, man, I'll take care of you. And it's a great shot. It's just a fantastic photographs. So anyway, and he's already
Yeah.
getting traction. This just happened, what, 2 weeks ago or something like that? Because it was recent, no?
No, that happened a couple of months ago.
Oh, okay.
Ironically, the person that reached out on his behalf was someone I photographed over a year ago,
Oh,
and he
wow.
caught wind of the same when we did the blast for the unemployed for COVID.
Yeah,
And like months afterwards, he's like, "Man, I got a friend. Can you please help him out?" And he asked me how
yeah.
much I charge. I told him the charge. He's like, but I was like, he lost his job. So don't worry about it. Come on down and I'll take care of him. He's like, "Are you serious?"
Mm.
I'm like, "Yeah." So George came in. He came in and got a headshot, and I just happened to follow up with him. I'm like, "George, how's those jobs going?" He's like, "Man, I got 3 or 4 different interviews." He's like, "I
That's
didn't think you
awesome.
would take
Yeah, that's
off." So,
great. That's fantastic. It really is life changing. And that's the thing. And and I think that people get caught up with titles and celebrity and and
oh, you
all of
preaching.
the
You're preaching right now.
what was that? Yeah, no, but I'm
You're
just saying
preaching.
that they caught up with all this stuff, and sometimes it's like those simple moments in life, and really projecting who you really are that really matters, and to have just good people out there that are willing to help. I think is always just a fantastic thing, and it just brings us back to reflect on exploring each other's humanity. And I think that's what you do with your
Yeah.
photography and with the work you do, because you're giving back, people a sense of I still have a chance, or I still do matter, because that's what they see when they see the pictures, right? So
They do.
I'm ecstatic to finally meet you, because I feel like I know you just because I follow your work, and I'm sure one day soon, hopefully we'll meet, because I need new headshots too. My latest one was about what it's gonna be 3 years in April,
Hmm.
so yeah, so I need to get a better headshot for sure. So I'm looking forward
I
to
think
it.
we might broadcast that one live.
Yeah, that would be epic. We'll get Chris to record it. Yeah, so we could do like a whole thing. That'll be fun. It'll be fun with
That
Risha
is
Landa and
happening, by
everybody.
the way, that is happening.
That's happening, right? Thank you.
Hey, look, but there's a caveat to that. Chris just dropped in. Chris has a cool beard action going on, so he's gonna jump on camera too. So now you got to get film him too.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh shit! So careful.
I like it, I like
Oh my
it.
God. That would be fun. Yes, we'll do like a group session. That would be really fun. Listen, Landon, it's so great to finally meet you. Thank you for making the time to come on and tell me, how you do what you do. I admire your work, and I want to thank you on behalf of all those people that you've helped out, throughout the years, and the ones that you will continue helping. And I'm excited. I'm excited to get to meet you in person sometime soon. And you're welcome. I mean, would love to have you back, with some stories, because I think storytelling is a big part. And as you continue on this path, I'm sure that you could probably write like a coffee book. Wouldn't that be fun? With the do you get waivers? You should get waivers from everybody, so that way you can eventually do like a coffee, like a coffee table book or something,
Yeah.
like I think that would be fun. But in any event, thank you. Are there any last minute like advice you want to tell, people, that are shy away from branding themselves, or about trying something new, or if they're going into a space that's unfamiliar, or that they feel, that they lack confidence, like what could you tell them and leave them with today?
Couple of things. Exposure breeds expansion. Uncomfortable. Get used to being uncomfortable because that's when you learn the most.
Mm,
Being in familiar territory doesn't make you grow. It just makes you, over time, you just erode. Um, that would be the biggest thing. And if you want greatness, don't settle for good because good is the opposite of greatness, not bad.
mm,
I love that saying once I first heard it. So
Yeah.
that would be the biggest thing. Take a chance on yourself. Take a
Mm.
chance on yourself because there's only one you. Don't try to be everyone else. There's only one you, and you're unique for a reason. And that uniqueness is not, you're not just here for yourself. Realize that your story or your actions influence others. You don't have to be LeBron James. You could just
Yeah.
be you could just be Chris, you could just be Landon, and you can
Yeah.
make a bigger impact.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this conversation. We'll have you on again. And I want to wish you a wonderful holiday, Landon. It was so great to meet you, and we'll definitely stay in touch, okay?
It was great. Thank you so much, Sammy. I can't wait to meet you in person. It was great meeting
Y-
you virtually. You too,
Yes.
Chris. Take care.
This concludes this episode of I Have Something to Say. We want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. We're on Spotify and iTunes as well. There's more to come next week. And remember, if you have something to say, it's time to speak up.